facts. This is not about lifestyle. This is not about judgments. This is about truth, okay?
Hey everyone, HiqhlifeFX back with another video. To my subscribers, welcome back. To anyone new to the channel, welcome to the HFX community. I hope everyone is doing well and benefiting from the great content we have here on this channel. If not, you can always post a comment below or hit me up personally on Instagram and I will answer any questions that you have. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and share. Also be sure to hit the notification bell below to be updated when we drop new content. With that said, let's go ahead and dive into this video. So about 3 weeks ago, I was able to predict the massive fall that happened on the Great Britain pound US dollar this week. I think it was like a 500 pip drop that happened on the GU. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go to my Telegram so I can show you guys, what I'm talking about. So here you can clearly see on August 25th, I put this in Telegram public group. Top-down analysis on GU. Please remember, top-down analysis allows us to get a better understanding as to where we are in the big picture and what to expect moving forward. Please practice this as a new trader. Doing this would accelerate your skills. Also, don't take my word for it. Backtesting your system will only help you master your skills and get better. Happy trading. And that was followed by this video here.
Hey guys, HiqhlifeFX back with another video. In this video, we're going to do an analysis on the GU. So first things first, let's look at the GU. We're on a weekly chart right now. We're just going to do a basic analysis on this. We're not going to look too much in this chart because it's a weekly and we're just looking for major levels of support and resistance.
So that was basically, the video that I went ahead and sent out. And it was basically just a video of me breaking down the GU. All right. It was basically just that. I was breaking down the GU and I was basically just giving an analysis video as to what I felt the projection would be for the next, I guess, few weeks or even month or so. And what that was based on was basically this. And I'm just going to do it here on this chart here. Right. So what I basically did was I dropped out to the weekly chart. Even if you go to the monthly chart, you can clearly see that resistance level there. But I went to the weekly chart and you can clearly see over the past 3 years, we have a zone up here, a major resistance zone that has not been price hasn't been able to break past that level, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 times prices come back to this level and it hasn't. At the same time, if you look at the oscillator below, this is the TDI and it basically measures momentum. This green line reflects the price action on the chart. We have the red line that kind of just acts as a crossover and a signal to give us entry and exit points. And then we have the Bollinger Bands that teach us, that tells us whether the volatility is strong or weak. And then we have the overall market baseline right here. That's that yellow line. And what that tells you is what the overall market is doing. Okay. And that we have that on a chart where the positive sentiment would be above 50. So above 50, it would be considered in an uptrend. Below 50, it would be considered in a downtrend. This oscillator is very similar to the RSI. It's pretty much almost identical to the RSI. We use it the same exact way. So what we look for in this is for when price comes outside of the Bollinger Bands and gives us, like what we would call a shark fin, and that's at an extremely oversold or overbought level. That's what you look for. You look for price to come back in, and obviously you do some technical analysis to dictate whether you're going to jump in going long or short. But basically in this analysis, what I was basically just looking for is the overall resistance that we have at the top, this major zone up here, and also using the momentum to look for some type of divergence to show some weakness in the momentum as the price is going down. So as you notice, for the past 3 years, price has been dropping. We had lower lows, lower highs, and every time it would come back up to this zone, this, resistance zone, but it would keep dropping. This big drop here that we have over here, let me just get this highlight on so you guys can see it a little bit better. But this big drop here was what happened during COVID. Okay. And And so what I would, that was definitely a catastrophic event. That was a really huge event that hit our hit not only the nation, but it affected the world, and we're still being affected by it. And you could see how far the market dropped when that happened. So what I based it, my basis on this analysis was very simple. We have a major resistance level that we haven't passed in almost 3 years, right? We haven't, well, not even almost 3 years. It's been 3 years. We haven't passed that level. Then we also have lower lows going down. But on these lower lows, the momentum is getting weaker and weaker because, here we have the momentum was it was extremely oversold, right? Underneath this 32 level, going down towards the 20 level. It was outside of the Bollinger Band right here, right? And then the next low was higher. It was contained inside the Bollinger Bands, and it's up by the 32 level. So we can tell that we have some divergence right here, so that we know that the momentum is getting weaker exactly for these 2 points right here. Then when we came to a newer low, right, a lower low, we had same kind of thing. In this case, price kind of reflected that it was a little bit lower, but it's still fairly in a exhausted state. It's outside of the Bollinger Bands. It's still an exhausted state. But then if you look here during COVID, it's way lower. Let's just look here and see how far. We have almost like 500, 600 pips lower than that previous low up here, 500-600 pips, but the momentum is higher and it's also being contained in the Bollinger Bands. So what that tells me is that the momentum is somewhat getting weaker as the lower lows were being formed. But then when we have this major catastrophic event, the momentum was still weaker than the previous momentum. Okay, it's still weaker. It's still exhausted, but it's weaker than the previous momentum. It's actually rising. So that means that what I think what would happen is that once price came back up to this level, if it didn't break it, I felt that what would happen is we would get some type of major inverted head and shoulders, right? So we have that shoulder, we have that head, and then what I would think is that the price is probably going to come back down to this area down here, or maybe somewhere around that area right there before it starts reversing to go back up again. So I kind of predicted that, and what I also did was I did a top-down analysis on that. So what I did was I used that, right? So we have that, we have the knowledge that it's not breaking that, right? We also have some type of divergence, right? So when we go down to the daily chart, we can see that we have divergence at the level, right? We have this higher high up here from this lower high, right? We have a high, then we have a higher high, and on the momentum, you can clearly see that it's going down. So everything was kind of pointing, even on the 4-hour chart. If you look at the 4-hour chart, we see, a bigger divergence up here. You can also see some divergence, from here to here is lower, but from here to here is higher. So, divergence. So basically everything in this top-down analysis is telling us that it wants to fall. We're at this major level. We haven't broken in 3 years. We have divergence. We have, we have railroad tracks, like even these railroad tracks right here. We have an engulfing right here. We have this nice engulfing on the daily chart. I can kind of zoom in for you to see that. A nice little engulfing right there. We had some patterns over here, like, some railroad tracks over here. Price was kind of trickling up, not really strong. So it's just everything was telling me that this market is going to drop, and when it drops, it's going to drop really strong. And that's basically what I was telling my students, in the Telegram group. I was telling them to look out for this pair, because at some point, the price is going to drop. From doing our top-down analysis. So I just wanted to go ahead and make a video so you guys can see basically what I look at right now for the projection of this GU is, I'm just going to go back out to the weekly chart, but what I'm looking to happen over the next, maybe few weeks or even maybe month or so is something very simple. Price has already rejected off this resistance area up here, and that's a strong resistance area. And we also have this really strong momentum candle that shows a lot of strength from the bears. What my prediction is that the price is just going to continue to go down, something like this, right? And then it's going to go up, right? And then once it goes up, you know, what I'm assuming is going to happen is price is probably going to go back up, maybe dance around this area for a little bit, and hopefully it'll break that area. Okay, once it breaks that area, we're just going to look for that retest to come back down like this. Okay, and then we look for some rejection. All right, let me go ahead and extend that out so you can kind of see that a little bit better. If price breaks that level, we're going to look for the rejection back down. If we get the retest back down, and if we get some rejection at this level right here, I'm just going to continue buying, going up. And once that level is broke, I mean, we can expect a nice strong uptrend. This market, you know, this line down here is a line that is basically the lowest, well, not the lowest, but this is basically the lowest major zone that's been on this GU ever, right? Since it's been online, since, you know, trading has been online, and we can even go out to the monthly chart and see that. We can see it here, you know, since what is that, 96, when they made it available for us to trade online. Basically, this is the lowest portion that the market has ever been to. So the market doesn't want to stay down here. The market wants to continue to go higher, but we just have to wait and see. You know, we have this clear resistance here. So this level right here is a major level. That and this level up here are major levels to tell us where the market is going to go. So that's just my take on it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell so you can be updated when we drop new content. Share with your friends, tell everyone about it, and I will see you guys in the next video.